A golden envelope slides quietly across the table and stops. My mother's voice echoes. It glides slowly across the table and stops right in front of her. Look at the Matthews family crest. Perfect for your sister's 30th birthday, don't you think? Mother smiles with satisfaction. Beside her, Bianca's cheeks flush as she speaks. 150 guests will be coming. Of course we'll outshine the Wilsons, right? Father puffs out his chest and adds his words. I've secured the grand ballroom at the International Members Club, all for Daddy's princess. Sitting beside them, Kendall watches expressionlessly as her sister's birthday is treated like a national event. In front of her sits a thick manila envelope and a platinum card. You'll be in charge again this year. You're so good with the details. That one sentence trampled over 26 years of silence. Her birthday? 2 weeks later. What the family calls a small dinner means a day that ends with a convenience store cake. The sound of opening an envelope echoes. Inside was packed her sister's dreams and her own sacrifice. What happens next will change everything. Have you ever felt invisible in your own family? Drop a comment. Let me know. Now, let's continue. The gleam of the golden envelope stabbed my vision like a stage spotlight. The envelope slides across the table and stops precisely in front of me. Mother pushes it forward with a perfect smile. Father crosses his arms with his chest puffed out. Sister Bianca checks her angle in her phone's front camera before flipping her hair. Even the small sounds of cutlery echoed strangely. No one was laughing, yet the air alone felt festive. In that room, even silence was staged as part of the prestige. The embossed family crest, the wax seal, the hand-styled calligraphy. The more expensive the details, the more they reminded me of the smallness of the price tags placed on my birthdays. You'll be in charge again this year. You're so good with the details. Mother taps the envelope lightly with just her fingertips. The words were shaped like a compliment, but the meaning was an order. Father continues proudly. I've secured the grand ballroom at the International Members Club. I made Jim return the favor. We'll make it a night worthy of our princess's 30th birthday. Princess, of course, meant Bianca. Her face and gestures were perfectly stage-ready. The sponsors were our parents. The production was me, an unpaid production company. My name would surely never appear in the credits. For 26 years, I'd been the invisible architect of my family's perfect image. Every event, every celebration, every moment of their glory. I built it all from the shadows. But invisible architects never get invited to the unveiling. They just get handed the next blueprint. A platinum card sat on top of the thick manila envelope. Father taps the card lightly and laughs. Use this for the deposit for now. I'll settle up later. I know that in this house, later means forever. At 17, at 21, at 24. The string of numbers that disappeared from my account and never returned keep blinking somewhere in my head like unpaid apologies. I opened the envelope. The cutout magazine pages scraped roughly against my palm. Pinterest prints, business cards from vendors, color samples, and change instructions. Bianca said glitz and glamour was outdated, so this year would be diamond elegance. My own wishes never once existed as a category there. Papers with different textures all felt like command orders. My family doesn't know that the brighter the glossy dream, the more it dulls a person. Mother adds, something worthy of the Matthews family prestige. Father inflates the numbers. We'll have 150 guests. No, make it 175. I drank water. Ice hit my teeth with a small sound. No one noticed. No one noticed my hands were trembling. I'm Kendall Matthews. I'm good at quietly organizing piles of paperwork. I'm the shadow coordinator who runs family events. I'm a woman who hasn't properly celebrated her own birthday in 26 years. My birthday always comes 2 weeks after Bianca's. With party fatigue, Mother says, let's keep it small, shall we? Father laughs and says, pizza's fine, right? Before I know it, a text arrives at 9 p.m. Forgot. Happy birthday. In this house, the word small means postponed. The dining table meeting proceeds methodically. Catering will be lobster puffs, 2 chocolate fountains, expensive champagne, live music for the entrance. The budget starts at 4,000 swells to 6,000, carried along by the momentum of conversation. I take notes, nod, mention necessary dates, pick up scraps of paper that have fallen on the table. I'm not just picking up paper. I'm picking up family troubles, cleaning up after promises, and my own time wearing away invisibly. That evening, I spread out the contents of the envelope on my apartment kitchen counter. A pendant light like a spotlight drops a white circle onto the magazine clippings. My laptop displays my bank account. The balance glows quietly at the edge of the screen. $3,207.42. The numbers are cold, yet somehow warmth spreads deep inside my body. Am I going to support someone else's dreams with this again? Am I going to refuel my family's vanity? A notification buzzes. From Rachel, my best friend, the only person who never took my silence for granted. I type, being used again, and send it. A reply comes in 3 seconds. Walk away. Just once. Use it for yourself. I stare at the screen. Words I'd usually brush off with a joke or a sigh pierced deep inside my sternum on this particular night. I realize it didn't pierce. I finally pinched the thorn that had been there all along. I pull out an old diary from the back of a drawer. April 18th, age 18. The family was absent at Bianca's volleyball tournament. We'll do it next week, they said, and never did. Age 19. No one remembered. Age 20. Rachel brought 12 cupcakes. Every time I turn a page, there's a smell to the paper. The smell of forgotten years. I close it, like a researcher closing records of a long-running experiment. I press it down gently with my palm. The next morning at the office, the phone vibrates continuously on my desk. Janet from accounting laughs. I thought you were having a seizure. My boss Mark puts his hand on my shoulder and says, take 10 and get out of here. I answer the phone in the break room. Mother piles on requests without taking a breath. Tells me the headcount increased by 25. Bianca demands menu changes, and father repeats the same line. I'll settle up later. Mother's face, supposedly on the other end of the phone, floats before me like a mirror. I've even memorized the rhythm of her small sighs. That deja vu was a form of control thicker than blood. I say quietly, the contract is already finalized. Additional guests will cost extra. Mother's tone cools slightly. This isn't about money. It's Bianca's special day. When was my special day? Outside the break room window, clouds flow thinly. A whirlpool forms at the bottom of my paper cup and quickly disappears. After lunch, Mother appears at the office and spreads out fabric sample books before leaving. After she leaves, heat rises to the back of my neck as I return to my seat. It's not sweat. It's not anger. If I had to name it, it's the temperature of my limit. A heart that's been simmering at low temperature for so long has finally started bubbling at the edge of boiling. In the bathroom stall, I clench my fist and slowly open it. The imprints of my nails remain white on my palm. On the way home from work, the dust color is pale peach. Only the edges of the clouds shine like gold thread. Suddenly, I stop, because the person reflected in the shop window looks slightly like a stranger. My shoulders curve inward. The muscles at my throat are tight from the habit of swallowing words. I spread my chest and pull my shoulders back. The movement is awkward, but something shifts 1 millimeter from its fixed position. Just 1 millimeter. But the world can change its orbit with a 1 millimeter shift. In that reflection, I saw 2 versions of myself. The woman I'd been. Shoulders curved inward. Voice swallowed. Always smaller. And the woman I could become. Standing tall. Speaking up, taking space. The gap between them was just one choice. One terrifying, liberating choice. I chose the second woman. Right there, on that street corner, I chose myself. It was the moment when the posture I'd been maintaining for others finally returned to my own skeleton. I felt a small sound from deep in my back. Perhaps freedom is the painful correction of posture. When I returned to the apartment, I opened my laptop and typed into the search bar. Florida beach rental, blue house, white fence, deck, sunrise, windows. I save the photos one by one. I name the folder my birthday. I send Rachel a message, this time a short sentence close to a declaration. I'm going. For real. The phone rings immediately. Finally, she says with a laugh. Her laughter sounds like bursting bubbles on the other end. The next day, Michael from accounting stops me in the break room. I heard from Rachel. I have extra miles. It's your birthday, so won't you let me use them? I'm confused but can't refuse. I'm not used to the event of someone doing something for me. I've forgotten how to handle gratitude. Michael jokes. If I use them on my mother, she'll complain. My laughter is small but genuine. Friday night. Another emergency family meeting is held at my parents' house. I lay out papers on the table. Contracts with familiar formatting, stamps, receipt copies. My parents nod with satisfaction without reading a single page. Mother hands me an envelope. Down payment. $2,800 should be enough, right? Father nods. His eyes are on his phone. Bianca is busy choosing filters for her story. I say, leave it to me. Those words are convenient magic in this house. The problem is who pays the price for the spell. Outside, the night air is chilly. Streetlights dot the leaves of the street trees. I slide the envelope into my bag. The weight on my shoulder is real, yet somehow lighter. It felt like the sensation of regaining my own center of gravity. Through the taxi window on the way back to the apartment, building lights tear and flow past. With each red light, my resolve takes shape one by one. Vacation application, early morning departure, voicemail message, and the right to silence. Saturday morning, I open my eyes in bed and stare at the corner of the ceiling. It's quiet, a moment of blank space with no notifications or reminders. I breathe in and fill my lungs completely with that blank space. My phone buzzes. Incoming call from mother. I flip the screen face down. The ringing sound is as faint as distant construction. Eventually it stops. Then it rings again. I finally understand that the tug of war between silence and noise ends when I let go of the rope. In the afternoon, Rachel comes over. Sitting on the floor drinking wine, we confirm the departure plans. Flight tickets. The key to the lodging. Bare minimum luggage. Rachel is calm throughout, but with a somehow meaningful smile. At that moment, I had no idea there was another plan in her heart. Rachel says, Kendall, let's make the voicemail message now. I nod. I press the record button and speak slowly. This is Kendall. I'm unable to take your call right now. Please leave a message. I'll return your call when I'm ready. My voice is lower and calmer than I expected. When I finish, Rachel applauds. Nice. Perfect. Late at night, alone. I open my diary again. April 18th, age 24. $4,000 for flowers. Father says he'll return it next week. Unpaid. Age 25. Pizza paper plates. The happy birthday song is off key. I pick up my pen. I write the heading for age 26 and stare at the blank page for a while. A page with nothing written is a preview that can be written freely from now on. I write just one line. I won't disappear anymore. I wrote slowly, deliberately. Each word was a promise to myself. Age 26. The year I stopped disappearing. Then I added one more line. The year I learned that leaving isn't betrayal. It's survival. I signed my own name at the bottom. Like a contract. Like a declaration of independence. When I finish writing, something clicks into place deep in my chest. The next morning, Father's text is brief. 15 more people. Handle the seating and food. Behind the short command lies a long-standing custom. I reply briefly. Understood. The real reply is much longer. Too long to put into words. When I show that link to Rachel, she laughs. It's okay. You don't have to put it into words. Show it through action. I nod. Actions don't lie. On Monday, I submit a vacation request to the company. Subject line. Personal day. In the body, I write just one line. Family matters. My finger trembles slightly as I press send, but quickly stops. My boss's reply comes in 1 minute. Approved. Enjoy. I stare at the screen. I didn't know that words of blessing could be so light and arrive so directly. When I get home, a small package from a delivery sits on the doormat. The sender is Aunt Susan. When I open it, there's a small frame wrapped in thin paper. A photo of 4-year-old me blowing on a small cake. The attached note has just one line. You were never overlooked from the very beginning. My throat grows hot. I lean against the kitchen counter. Being seen is the prerequisite for being celebrated. An invisible daughter is never celebrated. So I'm taking myself to a place where I can be seen. At night, Wind passes outside the window. The curtain sways slightly. I check my packing list and line up on the bed a bright sundress, a swimsuit I bought 3 years ago and never wore once, and impractical sunglasses. With each item I pack, an old weight comes off somewhere in my heart. A message comes from Bianca. Arrive at the venue Friday and check the tables. Also, get the gold orchids. I wait 40 minutes before replying briefly. I'll confirm. Immediately another call comes in. From Mother. I let it go to voicemail. I'm rapidly getting used to how to use silence. Finally, I open the calendar app. When I scroll, 11 years of highlights line up. Bianca's birthday is painted with layers of highlighter. 2 weeks later, my birthday continues blank. I type an event name on that day next year. My birthday. Location. TBD. Guests. Me and people who will celebrate me. I press save. A small checkmark appears on the screen. It's a trivial icon, yet it spreads like fireworks inside my chest. Before bed, I stand in front of the mirror. I tuck my hair behind my ear and lift my chin. I don't look away. I'm Kendall. I'm stepping down from the disappearing role. When I say it out loud, the density of the air in the room seems to change slightly. The words are a contract for myself. The signature will be made at 4:30 tomorrow morning with the sound of rolling a suitcase down a dark hallway. The witness is Rachel. The attendant is Dawn. For the stamp, I'll tear off the edge of a silence that lasted too long and paste it. When I lie down in bed, my phone buzzes again. I turn off the power. Silence returns. I close my eyes and imagine the sound of waves. The light of a sunrise I've yet to see crosses the back of my eyelids. Somewhere far away, a car door closes. Someone's laughter dissolves into the night. And so, I sleep deeply and well. A few minutes before the alarm goes off, I open my eyes naturally. The darkness is thin. The world is slightly blue. My heart is surprisingly calm, like the end of a long dream. But this is an awakening. I sit up and grip the handle of the suitcase. The feel of the metal is cold and certain. Without turning on the hallway light, I quietly open the door. I muffle my footsteps, turn the key, and close it quietly. When I exhale, I think it turned white. Rachel's car is stopped in the street with the headlights off. She opens the window and gives a thumbs up. I nod. In the glass of the building entrance, my figure pulling a suitcase is reflected small, visible, clearly visible, an outline that doesn't overlap with anyone's shadow. My story has only just begun. But as a first step of a beginning, it was enough. The sound of footsteps taken for myself for the first time are quietly carved into the pre-dawn streets. 3:30 a.m. Outside still held the quietness between midnight and morning. Kendall was awake before the alarm went off. It wasn't that she couldn't sleep. Rather, she slept most peacefully in a long time. Today was a morning she woke up for herself, not for anyone else. She quietly closes the zipper of the suitcase. Even that sound seemed like a signal to switch worlds. When she opens the front door, Rachel's car is waiting across the street with the engine off. The lights are off, and moonlight softly illuminates the hood. The passenger window goes down. Rachel's voice comes out. Ready? Kendall takes one deep breath and then nods. Perfect. She loads the suitcase into the trunk. Rachel offers her a paper cup. Coffee. To wake you up and courage blend. Beyond the steam, their smiles overlap. It was a moment like a small ritual. The car quietly starts moving. The city lights gradually recede. In their place, the navy blue before dawn spreads out. No music plays inside the car. Only the sound of the tires and the beating of her heart mark a steady rhythm. You're really doing this, Rachel says while looking ahead. Yeah, I'm scared. But I finally feel like I have a reason to go. That's what matters. A trip with a reason is no longer an escape. Kendall laughs quietly at those words. For a long time, she thought she was running away. But now it's different. This is movement for recovery. By the time they arrive at the airport parking lot, the edge of the sky is starting to brighten. Want help with check-in? I'm okay. Going alone is practice too. You're strong. Rachel smiles while shrugging and hands her a paper bag. This is a travel charm. Don't open it until you arrive. Behind the words, invisible prayers were packed. Rachel's voice had the tone of, I believe in you. just that resonance melted something that had been frozen deep in her chest for a long time. After finishing check-in procedures at the counter, Florida flight, gate C-23, the agent says. Hearing that, Rachel suddenly laughs. Hey, send me photos from the beach. Yeah, I'll send them. Really send them. If you leave me on read, I'm coming to get you. That would be trouble. They both laugh. While laughing, the inside of her chest grows warmly moist. In the moment of parting, the thank you behind the words seeps out. I'm going. Safe travels. It was an exchange like family. Kendall waves over her back while heading to the boarding gate. Rachel's figure grows smaller. Even so, her smile never wavers until the end. The airplane starts running down the runway. She grips the seatbelt buckle with her fingers and stares at the light outside the window. Above the clouds, the world becomes dazzlingly white in an instant. Kendall closes her eyes and whispers in her heart, "This is the sound of my life beginning." The destination is Destin, Florida, the place Rachel recommended, saying, "You can see the best sunrise." During the flight, Kendall quietly opens the charm bag. Inside is a small letter and a photo. It was one photo taken with Rachel at the seaside when she was 18. The letter had Rachel's round handwriting that read, "Let's see that morning light together again someday." Her chest grew hot, just knowing someone wishes for her happiness. It felt like the rusted gears in her heart were starting to move. When the plane lands, the smell of the tide mixes with the wind. When she passes through the terminal doors, warm air wraps around her skin. When she opens the rental car window, she hears the sound of the ocean. The destination bungalow is a small house with a white fence and blue roof. A seashell mobile hanging at the entrance rings in the wind. This is it. The moment she turns the key and opens the door, a voice bursts out from inside. Surprise. Rachel, Michael, Lisa. 3 people stood with smiles. A banner on the wall reads, "Welcome to the world of freedom, Kendall." On the table is a homemade cake and flowers. For a moment, she doesn't understand what's happening. Why? Rachel laughs and says, "I didn't think you'd send photos from the beach, so we came instead." Rachel. Kendall's voice trembles. "I told you, this isn't an escape. It's a celebration. This is your first day living for yourself." Tears run down her cheeks. Rachel gently hugs her. "Welcome back, Kendall." Those words melted years of loneliness. At night, when she goes out on the deck, she hears the sound of waves. Moonlight illuminates the sea surface white. The sea breeze strokes her cheeks. Rachel and the others are laughing inside. Kendall places her hands on the railing and quietly closes her eyes. This trip isn't an escape. It was finally a rite of passage to begin my life. Those words are carved into her heart in the sea breeze. This trip began with her sister's birthday, but the goal is 2 weeks later. Her own birthday that she won't give to anyone. Her story has finally reclaimed a calendar for herself. On the day of Sister Bianca's birthday itself, the Matthews house morning was filled with restless glamour. White flowers were delivered to the living room multiple times. The scent of perfume drifts in layers through the air. Mother changes earrings in front of the mirror. Father reties his tie multiple times. Bianca puts pearls on her ears and has mother zip up the back of her dress while smiling through the mirror. There will be 175 guests today. Don't be late. Photos will be taken in front of the stairs. No need to worry. Everything is arranged. By Kendall. Mother says it as if it's obvious. Father nods with his chest puffed out. There will be no embarrassment. The venue is perfect. No one checks. No one calls. The entire family takes for granted someone's invisible hands that always work precisely. Kendall's name is not spoken once that morning. They think she's a presence that moves without being called. 6 p.m. A black limousine pulls up in front of the entrance. Dresses and tuxedos climb in. The tail of perfume extends into the night. When the driver pulls away, Mother checks the group chat on her phone. Invited guests are reporting their arrivals one after another. Photos show the venue's heavy doors, polished marble floors, and red carpet. Bianca adjusts her lips with satisfaction. Look, I was right after all. Much more refined than those people's place. Exactly. Tonight the Matthews family name rises another level. Father is full of confidence. Even the way his mouth corners lift seems practiced. 6:45 p.m. Luxury cars line up in the venue parking lot. Valet parking staff receive keys one after another. Invited guests check their invitations, compare dates and times, and climb the stairs at the main entrance. No music comes from beyond the double doors. There are no floral arrangements in the entrance hall. No reception table either. But people nod to each other thinking, must still be preparing. 7 o'clock sharp. The double doors open. There are no decorations at all. The lighting remains standard business use. Tables are in their bare state without even white cloths. No stage has been set up. No DJ booth is visible. A murmur spreads like a wave among the guests. A guiding staff member rushes over with lowered eyebrows. How may I help you today? Father plucks a card from his business card case and slowly holds it out. I'm Matthews. We have the grand ballroom reserved for today. The staff operates a tablet. A few seconds of silence. A slight head shake. I apologize. I cannot confirm a reservation for today. Mother's fingers strongly grip Bianca's elbow. That can't be. My daughter arranged everything. Under the name Kendall Matthews. The staff searches again and shows Father the screen. There is a tentative reservation. However, as payment of the deposit was not confirmed by the deadline, it has been processed as a cancellation. The grand ballroom is currently in use with another reservation. The air stops. Bianca's smile freezes. Mother tries to say something with just her lips and stops. Father's cheeks flush with anger. He lowers his voice slightly. This is the Matthews family. I can pay now. I deeply apologize. As another customer is currently using this space, we cannot accommodate you today. The staff's tone is consistently polite, but the content is as hard as a door that won't move. The murmuring rises another level. Some of the invited guests awkwardly exchange glances. Others take out their phones and photograph something. The sound of fingers typing hashtags mixes with the floor's echo, making a dry sound. Mother hurriedly creates a smile and turns to face the guests. There's been a mix-up. Please wait here for just a moment. We'll arrange something right away. Father shouts to call the venue manager. Bianca grips the hem of her dress. Call Kendall. Right now. Mother dials with trembling fingers. The ringing continues many times. Finally, a flat woman's voice flows out. This is Kendall. I'm away right now. I'll return your call when I'm ready. Please leave a message. Every time the voicemail ends, Mother dials again. The result is the same. Mother, why? She's always done everything perfectly. It must be some mistake. I'll have her come back right away. Come back? From where? The three people's gazes wander through empty space simultaneously. They realize for the first time, they never once knew Kendall's whereabouts. They've always taken for granted that errands in front of them are completed. They've never thought about who, where, and how someone accomplished that. One of the invited guests says in a low voice, "Will they continue at home?" Another guest shrugs. How childish. Another looked sympathetic. How unfortunate. The person in charge of preparations isn't here. The same fact tumbles out in different forms from each mouth. Curiosity, sympathy, contempt. All of them stab simultaneously on Bianca's cheeks. Mother has no choice but to make a decision. Instead of holding a microphone, she claps both hands and shouts in the brightest voice possible. Everyone, I'm truly sorry. Tonight we will continue with modest hospitality at our estate. The address is on the back of the invitation. Please come as you are. People nod with smiles. Some polite words are returned. However, feet don't move together. Some call taxis on the spot. Some look at their watches to find excuses. Some quietly turn their backs. Outside, the night wind is cold. Bianca stands frozen in front of the limousine door. Her voice trembles. My sister ruined everything. Mother nods as if clinging to those words. Father clenches his fists. I'll bring her back. Right now. But where? They don't know. Which sky Kendall has crossed. Which seaside she's breathing wind at. In that moment, they finally understood. The empire they built wasn't made of prestige or money. It was made of one person's silent sacrifice. And when that person stopped sacrificing, the empire collapsed. Not because she destroyed it, but because it was never real to begin with. Just a beautiful illusion, built on invisible labor. Same time. Florida. White sandy beach. Kendall leans her elbows on the deck railing. looking at the distant horizon. Waves come and go. Rachel offers a mug from behind. The wind is strong at night, but I'll sleep well. The phone buzzes. Unread notifications line up on the screen. Mom, Dad, Bianca, unknown numbers. Kendall stares for just a few seconds and flips the screen face down. The sound of waves beats her chest at the same interval as her heartbeat. In the bungalow kitchen is simple salad and pasta. Michael opens wine. Lisa lights candles. The four of them make a short toast. No words for the toast. Just the sound of glasses touching becomes the first period of the time to come. The light reflects in the glasses, swaying like lanterns celebrating her new life. Laughter and the sound of waves overlap alternately. The night swells gently. She finally understands that temperature with a name, peace of mind. Meanwhile, at the Matthews family estate, Mother returns first and gathers staff. There aren't enough dishes. Flowers are still in boxes. Food arrangements won't make it in time. Father calls someone to ask for a favor. The person declines, saying they're busy. Bianca fixes her makeup in front of the entrance hall mirror, but her hands tremble and the eyeliner goes crooked every time the entrance door opens. A few guests come in and a few more leave. Smiles tear like thin paper. Vanity blurs with sweat. 9 p.m. The tables that should have lined the estate garden are just sitting empty. Mother finally drops into a chair and covers her face with one hand. Father keeps pacing the garden. Only his footsteps are uselessly valiant. Bianca sits on the sofa, grips the hem of her dress, and looks down. No one sings. No one celebrates. The birthday cake candles never arrive. Late that night, Florida. A small bonfire crackles and sparks rise into the black sky and disappear. Kendall opens her diary and stops her pen just once on the page. She keeps the opening short. I left on my sister's birthday. The next line is a little longer. This isn't punishment. It's the procedure for me to save myself. She closes the page and listens carefully to the sound of waves. The direction of the wind changes slightly. The smell of the tide grows stronger. Somewhere in the sky, an airplane glows, heading toward a distant city. Kendall follows that light with her eyes and smiles quietly. Her journey began on her sister's birthday, but the goal is 2 weeks later. Tonight is just a prologue toward her own birthday that she won't give to anyone. She has certainly started walking. The next morning, a small topic appeared on the entertainment section of a news site. Matthew's family luxurious birthday party canceled due to venue booking error. The photo shows Bianca with an anxious expression, Mother avoiding the camera, and Father with a red face. The article body is short, listing just the facts. Venue cancellation due to unconfirmed payment. Confusion on site. Some guests left early. Just that string of words removed 26 years of pressure from Kendall's shoulders. Florida mornings have early light. Sunlight shining through the bungalow windows illuminates the white walls. The scent of coffee drifts. The sound of waves resonates low. Kendall holds her mug with both hands on the balcony, looking at the ocean. Phone notifications continue as usual. Mom, 21 items. Dad, 12 items. Bianca, 27 items. But she didn't touch any of them. Silence is not guilt but choice. Rachel comes outside and raises her mug. Did you see it already? The news. Kendall laughs. Yeah, faster than I thought. It's spreading. There's even a hashtag, #DiamondDisaster. Ironic, isn't it? Diamond elegance becoming a symbol of collapse. The two keep laughing for a while. After the laughter, the sea breeze strokes their cheeks. Quiet returns. Rachel says softly, "Feel better?" Kendall shakes her head. No, not better, more like I finally stood in the right place. The deck wood warms in the morning sun. Heat gradually transmits from underfoot. Kendall takes a deep breath, deep in her chest. A quiet wave comes in. Before noon, Michael comes with a newspaper. Did you see this? It's even in print. I honestly didn't expect it to go this far. Lisa shrugs. Well, painful tuition for them. Kendall receives the newspaper and traces under the headline with her finger. The family's finances are now the talk of high society. Behind the glittering status, the price paid was far too high. In the evening, clouds stretch from the direction of the airport. Kendall sits in a deck chair, still looking at the ocean, and says, "Right now, Mother is probably thinking up new excuses. Father is blaming someone. Bianca is crying and deleting posts to protect her brand. Rachel nods. That imagination is probably mostly right, but I don't care anymore. Kendall's voice is calm. Their world didn't collapse because I left. Even without me, it was a structure that would collapse eventually. When night falls, the ocean sinks into darkness. The bonfire is lit again. The four quietly clink glasses. Lisa says in a whisper, "When this trip ends, what will you do?" Kendall pretends to think and laughs a little. "I won't end it. I'm going to reconstruct the place I returned to. For myself." The sound of waves dissolves into the wind. Sparks rise into the air and disappear. Stars are scattered in the night sky. Kendall opens her planner. On the page 2 weeks later, only one appointment is written. My birthday location. Here. Rachel peeks over her shoulder and smiles. Who's the star this year? Kendall lifts her pen and writes a name on the page. Kendall Matthews. Seeing that, Rachel applauds. Okay, we need to prepare for the party. Even though it's just the four of us, right? 4 is plenty. Because this time, you are properly here. Kendall laughs and turns her face toward the ocean. The sound of waves washes away the noise of distant days. The phone buzzes. Just for a moment, Mother's name displays. But by the time the next wave comes, the screen has gone dark. She stands with her mug and breathes in the night wind. The phone buzzed one more time. This time, I didn't even look, because for the first time in 26 years, I had somewhere more important to be. Here, with people who saw me, celebrated me, chose me. And I finally understood. Freedom isn't about running away. It's about running toward the life you deserve. Kendall chose herself, and she has 0 regrets. What would your first step toward freedom look like? Drop a comment below. If this story moved you, hit like and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's been invisible for too long. You deserve to be celebrated, not just used. Thanks for listening.